What's the biggest takeaway of the Arizona's primary election?
Well, I think there's a few. One is that the Republicans continue to run so far to the right on the MAGA agenda, and they really don't understand how that is so disconnected from the the majority electorate here in the state of Arizona. We have seen year after year they go so far to the right, and it's really difficult for them to change their platform or to change their narrative in order to engage the general electorate. So I think that that is something that will be good for Democrats, including the incumbent governor, of course, Katie Hobbs, Secretary of State Fontes, Attorney General Chris Mays, and now we have a really strong Superintendent of Public Instruction candidate, Terry Leiva-Ruiz, that's going to be beneficial for her.
And that's a national headline that I'm seeing everywhere, how Trump-backed candidates, the election deniers, took over the primary here. Is that good for Democrats?
I think that's really good for Democrats. I think we have strong candidates that now have been in elected office, that have proven good results, that have fought for a better economy, that have worked in a bipartisan manner, that have been consistent. And then you have people that are so extreme that they are viewed as election deniers. I mean, Andy Biggs is possibly considered as an organizer of the January 6th insurrection. Warren Peterson, who I served with in the state legislature, he is the current president of the Arizona State Senate. He led the fraud back in 2020. Many people don't remember, but I do. I remember he really fought the election results of 2020.
And he's running for Attorney General.
He's running for Attorney General, that's right. Alexander Collin is now the official nominee for the Republicans. He's another election denier. And so it's not necessarily that the electorate is thinking about election denialism as they are voting, but I do think that Arizona voters view how extreme a person is and how centrist and how pragmatic a person can be. And I think the Democrats are best positioned to put forth a platform and an agenda that will reach the majority of the voters here in the state.
But it's not going to be easy for Democrats. It's not a given that they're going to win in the state of Arizona, especially with so many independents in the state and so many Latinos that voted for Donald Trump during the last election. So what is it that Democrats need to do to attract the broader electorate?
Yeah, and it never is easy. I'll tell you, as a chair of the Democratic Party, it's really hard because, number one, you have to have a strong and solid coalition, which I do think that that these candidates, the Democratic candidates, do have, and it's not only the ones I've mentioned, all the way down to the ballot, and then there will even be a coalition all the way to the bottom of the ballot when it comes to the propositions. But I think the most important thing that the Democrats can do is continue to engage the community and the voters in a very authentic way, in continuing to listen, not disregard any issue that comes to the forefront. And we know that the economy is top of mind for voters in Arizona. The polls show it. Every poll shows that the economy is top of mind. I mean, and you don't have to poll people. You just have to go to the carniceria, or you just have to.
I was going to ask you, how does that look like?
No,
how does that authentic message look like
being
for Latinos?
Being in the places where Arizonans live. Yes, going where people shop, going where people eat, going where people take their children to play, the parks. All of those things are things where, if the candidates engage in an authentic way with them, and it's hard at a statewide level to say you have to knock on doors, because it's impossible to knock on everybody's doors here in the state of Arizona. But I do think that if people can tell when somebody is showing up for a photo op, or when they're showing up because they want to listen and they want to care, so they need to continue to do that. And I think that they have, at least our 3 top Democratic officials have done that in the last 4 years, and also they have a good record now. I mean, Katie Hobbs has produced a fairly good budget where like she's had a challenge again with having to deal with the most extreme legislature and then having to come up with a budget. It's not an easy task.
No, it is not an easy task. One of my biggest complaints about political candidates from both parties, Democrats and Democrats, is the fact that they reach out to independents and to Latinos only when there's an election.
Yes.
Bothers me so much. So even if they go to la carnicerias and, the taquerias. So what else are they going to do that Latinos will see that they really care and it's not just a photo op or it's not just because they want their vote right now?
Well, I think like spending resources, not only during the election, it's like real resources in engaging our communities, the Spanish-speaking communities, and understanding that not all Latinos think in the same way. So it's a challenge because you do have to make sure that you are reaching the Latino community from rural Arizona and that you're reaching the Latino community that lives in South Tucson or that lives in even in Paradise Valley, because we're everywhere, right? Because you don't think it's like Paradise Valley, but Latinos are everywhere, and that is a message. And that's why unfortunately there is like the need to make sure that they do have the resources so that they can invest in the airwaves, that they can invest in strong campaigns and organizers. There comes a time where you also need the surrogates, you need the validators. And the only way of getting those validators and those surrogates is by making sure that you are proving results, and I think that they do have those folks.
Well, President Donald Trump is celebrating right now because his people won in the Arizona primary, and he's saying that Arizona is now a Republican state. Is Arizona headed into a more conservative kind of government?
Arizona, I think, will continue to be a swing state, and it's I think like that's a reality that we live in because of the electorate. Just look, it's like 30% Democrats. More than 30% independents, a lot more, more than 30% as well Republican. And so it means that the state is a swing state, and that like we saw it last election, 2024. Kamala Harris lost, and then you have Ruben Gallego who won.
I like that. I like the fact that Arizona is a purple state. Politicians have to work to get
Politicians have to work. Politicians have to work, and I believe that when I get to talk to the governor, or it's not like I talk to them every day, but I know like in our conversations as we mount support for these candidates, everybody is coming into this race knowing that it's going to be close. It's like, remember, like Chris Mays won by 280 votes.
Yeah, that's
280
tight.
votes.
That's very tight.
It's so super tight. But look at what she has done in the last 4 years. She has led incredible efforts to sue Donald Trump, and people love that. For workers.
Although Republicans say that that's all she has done.
But she has protected our water. She has protected workers. And I mean, it's part of it. Like, what does that job do? It's like sue. They protect the people of Arizona. So what else do we want her to do? That's her job. So she is a strong champion of the people. So she has that record. And even on an issue like immigration, I am very excited to see her lead on fighting back against the birthright citizenship. She was one of the first people to speak up on ICE agent wearing their mask, and
fighting immigration centers. So
thank you.
Yeah, I give her credit for that.
On that particular issue, many times Democrats, and I can recognize it as a Democrat, as somebody who's like, they try to not even talk about immigration, and she's somebody who won by 280 votes and is willing to take on even an issue that could be used as a wedge issue. That's what they call it, right? That it's an issue that the Republicans have used to divide. So sometimes the way that the Democrats see it is like, it's better not to touch it. It's not there. But no, she has owned it, and I think that the attacks come regardless on that issue. So I'm pleased to have seen that she has been somebody who has been a champion for immigrant communities. But she does have a record on all the other issues. Unions love her. Workers have, and it's a lot on Chris Mace, but I think Katie Hobbs also has the respect and the support.
But it's going to be difficult to defeat Warren Peterson, the Senate president. So I don't think it's going to be that easy for Chris Mace. So what are you looking for in November or between now and the election?
Well, it's really hard for me to say something other than it's exciting to go into campaign modes. People who live campaigns, people who are in elections, it's very stressful. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of strategy, a lot of collective, a lot of coalition. Like we live in a space where if we can't win if there are no strong coalitions. So there is a lot of up and downs when it comes to that piece. But personally, I am looking forward to the next 105 days and making sure that people know who are the best candidates, because it's not about just an election, right? It's about having the right people in office to get the best outcomes for everybody in our community.
And that's the bottom line, and that's on us, the voters, as well, to make sure that we know who they are and if the candidates truly represent our interest. Raquel Terán, thank you so much for being here. Any final takeaway?
Final takeaway, the elections will be close, but I think we will have good results on the Democratic side. And we look forward to the engagement with people in the state of Arizona. We have to do it as organizers, as community organizations, as leaders of the Democratic Party. It's all a coalition, so I'm looking forward to that piece.
Well, thank you so much. We'll have to come back and talk about the progressives. So we'll leave it at that.
The progressives. Let's go.
You consider yourself a progressive.
I am a progressive. That's probably why I'm not in Congress.